Okay, let's work on this another day. Solve the inequality, graph your solution. So 2 times x minus 4 is less than negative 6. Okay. So the x is on this side of the inequality. It's got a times and a minus as the operation, so I circle the times. Now I get rid of the minus 4 with a plus 4. Now, whether you're minusing or plussing doesn't matter, okay? You need to leave the sign alone on that step, okay? On that step. Now, then I'll do the get rid of the times 2 with divide by 2. Now this is where you have to pay attention if you're going to switch the sign. The 2's positive, so we'll leave the sign, okay? Okay, so I'm leaving the sign on both steps. So I plus 4, plus 4. We're leaving the sign when we plus 4. So 2 times x. And then I go negative 6 plus 4. I got negative 2. And now my next step is to divide by 2. I'm leaving the sign because I'm dividing by a positive 2. So we have x. Then I take negative 2 divided by 2. I got negative 1. Okay, there it's easy. So you got negative 1. It opens to the negative 1. So it opens to the number. So when it opens to the number, it goes this way, and I label it with x. Okay, tick, tick, tick. Go find your negative 1. And it's the first 3 integers to the left. So negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, that's it. Okay, next one. Negative 3 times x plus 3 is less than 18. So the variable's over here. It's got a times and a plus, so I circle the times. Okay, so I have to get rid of my plus 3 first with a minus 3. And again, whether you're plussing or minusing doesn't matter. Okay, you're leaving the sign alone if you plus or minus. Then I'm going to divide by negative 3. Now on the divide, that's when we have to pay attention whether we leave the sign or switch the sign. When we divide by a negative, which that's a negative, there it is, okay, you need to switch the sign. Okay, so I minus 3, I leave the sign when I do that, okay. So 18 minus 3 is 15, and then I have negative 3 times x. Then I divide by negative 3, and when I do that, I have to switch the sign. So now we switch it. X, 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. So we have negative 5, I circle, and the sign is open to the x in this case, okay? So if it's open to the x, it's going to go this way. Okay, so negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. Okay, 4 times x plus 5 is greater than 25. Okay, so I got times 4 and plus 5, so we have to minus the 5. Remember, on the minus plus step, we always leave the sign no matter what. Okay, now on the divide step, we're going to divide by 4. Now we're dividing by positive 4, not negative 4, so we'll leave the sign there too. Again, the division step is where you have to worry about changing the sign, but if it's a positive 4, you leave the sign. So minus 5, and when I'm minusing and plussing, I don't change the sign, so 4 times x. So 25 minus 5 is 20. Okay, then we're dividing by 4, and we're going to leave the sign when we do that operation. So I take 20 divided by 5, and that's 4. Okay, so the 4 I got is a positive. It opens to the x, okay? So I got positive 4, open to the x will take us this way. First 3 numbers that way are positive 5, positive 6, positive 7. Okay. And then label your graph with x if I forget. Try to remember. Okay, negative 6 times x minus 3 is greater than 15. Okay, so here's Mr. X. It's got a times x and a minus 3. Okay, so I get rid of the minus 3 with a plus 3. Okay, you're leaving the sign when you minus and plus on every problem. Okay, then in the divide that I'm going to have to do, I get rid of the times with the divide by negative 6. Now, since we're dividing by a negative number on each side, I have to switch the sign. Okay, so plus 3, plus 3. When I'm doing that, I leave the sign. So negative 6 times x, and then I divide by negative 6. I'll switch the sign when I do that because I'm dividing each side by a negative. So switch it. We have x. And I take 18 divided by negative 6 is negative 3. So you have negative 3. It opens to the negative 3. So opening to the number takes the graph this way. Tick, tick, tick. So you have negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. Label your graph with x. Okay, 12 times x plus 6 is greater than 30, okay? So on the x side of things, I have a times and a plus, so I'll get rid of the plus first with a minus. Now when you minus or plus the sign, you leave the sign. Then we'll get rid of the times with the divide. Now I'm going to be dividing by 12, and since I'm dividing by positive 12, I will leave the sign there too. Okay, the only time I have to worry about switching the sign is on the divide if it's with a negative. So I'm minus 6, minus 6. When minus and 6, you leave the sign. So that's 24, then 12 times x. Then I divide by 12, and we leave the sign when we're doing that because we're just dividing each side, but it's by a positive. 24 divided by 12 gives me 2. Now 2 is positive then, so positive 2. It opens to the x. So opening to the x takes us this way. So positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5. All possible numbers of what the letter x can be. Okay, negative 5 times x minus 5 is less than 25, so I got a times and a minus. Okay, highlight your times. You got to get rid of your minus first with a plus 5. So when we get rid of that minus plus, it doesn't matter. I leave the sign. Okay. Then on the division, it's going to be by negative 5. So when we're dividing each side with a negative, we switch the sign. Okay, so at plus 5, we leave the sign when we're plussing the number. So that's 30, negative 5 times x. Then divide by negative 5. When you're dividing by a negative, we have to switch the sign. Okay. So that's going to be x. And then I take 30 divided by negative 5, that's negative 6. So negative 6 is a number. It opens to the x, so that's this way. So negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. Okay, 7 times x plus 6 is less than 20, so we have operations times and plus. Okay, now the plus 6 I get rid of with a minus 6. When we do that, we're going to leave the sign. Okay, I get rid of the times 7 with the divide by 7, and when we do that, it's 7's positive, so we leave the sign. Okay, remember the only time the sign can switch is on the division if it's with a negative. So minus 6, minus 6, sign's not going to change, I'm leaving the sign. So 20 minus 6 is 14. Then divide by 7. We're going to leave the sign there too because I'm dividing by a positive. Okay, 14 divided by 7 is 2. Positive 2. Circle, it's eating the number when it's opening to the positive 2, so opening the positive 2 takes the graph this way. Just put X, okay, and then 3 numbers, positive 2, so it'd be positive 1, 0, negative 1. Okay, our last problem, negative 4 dot times X plus 2 is greater than 18, so we have a times and a plus, so we got to take out the plus with a minus 2. You take out the times negative 4 with a divide by negative 4. So, minus or plus, it doesn't matter, you're leaving the sign when you do that, okay? Dividing by a negative means we have to switch the sign. So minus 2, negative 4 times X, so 18 minus 2 is 16. And dividing by negative 4, on that step we have to switch the sign. And 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. Okay, it's open to the negative 4. So, that means the graph travels this way. Tick, tick, tick. So negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7.